Welcome to my Hebrew channel, Mila Baraika, and today we're looking at the Yod. It's the smallest letter of the Hebrew alphabet. It's a very useful letter. Probably one reason why Jesus said not one iota will drop from the word. It's very useful. And so we're going to look at the formative function of the letter and the fact that it's also one of the matres lectiones. Matres lectiones, if you have forgotten this by now, is where one of the letters, which starts out as a consonant, in certain circumstances gets used as a vowel. So one of the skill sets you have to develop when you're reading Hebrew is when you see the Yod to divvy it up to decide whether it's working as a consonant. Start with a consonant. Huh? Is it really working as a consonant? Fine. When you first see it, think consonant. But when you see a hirik tied to it, when you see the Masoretic pointing for the Yod, then hirik Yod, then think of it as a vowel. And it's not just the E or I, it is also A and A and so forth. It can be numerous, actually numerous vowels based on what the Masoretic text will tell you just how they would like this pronounced. So it's a great help. It's a great, gives us a good help as to hint as to how this should be pronounced. And yeah, the Yod is matres lectiones, and it also has formative function. In other words, and that's true of all of the matres lectiones. The ones that are really well known as matres lectiones are the He, the Vav, and the Yod. And so these will work as vowels in some circumstances. The Aleph is considered, first of all, glottal stop, but just think that every consonant does have somewhat of a vocalic value to it, and this is what happens here. And often it isn't just simply as a small little help. It's the major part of words like Elohim and El Shaddai and so forth. So yeah, the Aleph does have a role as a vowel, and as such probably did have a function as or did work also as a matres lectiones. But we're going to get into that. That's probably going to be a little bit more involved study because it doesn't work exactly like the other matres lectiones. Matres lectiones here generally they find themselves outside of the root, although sometimes they will find themselves in the middle of the root, like the surik here. But often Aleph is very much part of a base root. So all of these others do have other formative functions, but they don't function as matres lectiones. I have Ruth 1:1. I've used Ruth for many years teaching Hebrew. It's a great book. Lots of interesting things happening in it, and a good balance of narrative and dialogue, and interesting things happening. It's anytime you have a story of love, yes, it's a very interesting, very nice book to study. And many parts of the scriptures, of course, are filled with some really heart-wrenching or troublesome things. But there are a few things like that in Ruth. But mostly, it's a story of love, from love of God to His people, and love, of course, between Boaz and Ruth, and the way Naomi's been cared for, and the way the names were restored. And so it was in the days when the ones judging judge, and there was a famine in the land, and there went a man from Bethlehem, Yehudah, to stay in the fields of Moab, he and his wife and his 2 sons. I'm going to go through this first verse, Yod by Yod. If I did the whole scriptures like this, it would take forever. But we're going to just do this very first verse, looking at in great detail as to how each Yod functions. This is a study on Yod. So by he, okay. So this is, and it so happened, it was, okay. It was. And so we got 2 Yods in the middle of this one. So this is Va, by he, okay. Now the first Yod, the first syllable is the conjunction, Vav Patah, and then you go Yod, Shiva, and so that's the second syllable then, Va Ye, he, okay, and then you got hey, and then hirik yod. So this one's a consonantal function for yod. Okay, we'll look at over here a little bit larger print over here. So you got va, ye. So this is to be if you put it out here as a y. Officially with a what do you call it? With a minor or lower with a short vowel in the middle of this syllable. This one's going to be should be a silent shava. But tendency is, of course, if you're always used to seeing yeah, you're going to use it as such. So okay, get lazy. Okay. So waihi, okay, should be wahi. Okay, I've got to check the Bart sounding of this one. So it's a very minor point of pronunciation. Doesn't change much whether you do it one way or the other. But waihi, okay, and then it so happened, okay, and this one's a consonant. This one then is the vowel, the hirik yod over here, to make this vowel sound of he. Okay, and then in this particular system of transliteration, I've got a little tent on top of the ones that function as matas lecciones. So this little tent right here means I'm going to have this icon on that page telling me this happens to be a page with a matas lecciones on it. So here it is, vaihi. So first one's a consonant, second one is matas lecciones. We see what's known as a apocope here because the root is haya. This is, if you're looking up in the dictionary, you're going to have hey, yod, hey. The hey has disappeared, so it's apocopated. It's dropped off, and so if it's at the front, it's a pheresis, and if it's at the end, it's apocope, and if it's in the middle, it's syncope. So just remember those three positions in which letters can drop off of roots. So that's what's happened here. Okay, by he, the root would be haya, but we're only looking at this one. And when I ask my students to memorize roots, find, you can go to the dictionary, this is what they find. You'll find this in any, it's also included in the apps. But in the real world of root, I always say, you can get your root, but your root will have another root to it. So here it is. This is the next root down, the hey, yod. Okay, so this is by he. Incidentally, it appears like this a whole lot of times. Right in the start of Genesis 1, Vayomer Elohim Yehi Or, Vahi Or, right there. You have the same thing. Same verb, actually, at that point. And then God said, let there be light, and there was light. Same verb is used here. Let there be in the days, Bichme, and I'm going to be analyzing that one. Here we go. Vahi Bichme Shofet HaShofetim, and B, this first one here, is most certainly a hirik yod. Okay, so this. Okay, let's get our vocabulary straight here and our concepts correct as well. Most students, when they start learning the vowel pointing, they'll go, "Oh, these are the vowels." Okay, da 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 da. The master gives us the vowels, and these are the consonants. Okay? Now let's get this defined just a little more precisely. This yod, and that yod as well, has begun as a consonant, but is now being used, and was used in ancient times as a vowel. Okay, so this is really a vowel, and the master helps us to see it. Okay, so this is just a help. Just think of everything you see underneath or on top of the little dots and stuff as helps. It isn't the real. It's simply hints as to how things should be done. It's not yeah. It's simply a help. Okay. The real world is the whole consonantal text that we see here. That's where we start with the real world, and then the other things are just simply help us to understand or pronounce it or read it or whatever. So Bichme. Okay. So this one's a hirik yod, and that's a B, and then me, and that is a serik yod. Okay. So as yods, they're simply yods. As vowels, this one will be E, and this one will be E. Okay? Be, me, be, me. So this helps us understand what we're looking at. This is the real world of being the real vowel. Okay? The real vowel is up here. The help, the hint as to what's going to be pronounced as, that's there, right there. Okay. I'd like to dissuade my students of thinking these. They say, "Oh, these are the vowels, and that's consonants." No, everything up here can be. Some of them are going to. Most of them are going to be consonants. Some of them are used as vowels, and the mashra is here to kind of point it out to you what's happening. So, v'hi b'fnei shofet hashofetim v'hi ra'av ba'aretz v'yelech ish mebet lechem Yehuda lagur b'shdei Moav hu v'eshto v'shnei banav. And we get up to Shofatim. These are the judging ones. It happens to be we have actually two. You got Sho. Okay, notice that both of them have O's in them. Okay, and Holoms. And so this one's a plural participle, and this one's a singular participle. The judging ones. Okay, the judges. So Hashofatim, the ones judging, judge. So Shofet is the judge, and Shofetim are the judging ones judging the judges. And it has a Hirek Yod right here. Shofetim, okay, Hirek Yod. And we'll see the indication via an eye with a little tent on top. And so I have a little yellow icon telling me that this one is running as a Matos Lecciones. And this one also, I do have a formative one here too. Why? Because it is one of the ways in helping you connect Hirek Yod along with a mem, and you've got a masculine plural on the end of a participle or the end of a noun. So shtim, okay. Vahi, and again, same one. And it's actually happens to be the very same verb as what started out the whole sequence, and here we see it again, okay, and the same thing, okay. Here, Vav and the Yod used as a, and in convention, in transliteration convention, one way that we can notice the difference between the I's and the Yods are this one's going to be a Y and this one's going to be an I. So okay, so this is actually pronounced E though, okay. Vayihi, okay, Vayihi, and it was. It so happened. It was, and there was. Vayelech, okay. Vayihi b'mech shofet hashofetim vayihi ra'av ba'aretz vayelech. Okay. Now take a look up here, over here, over here, over here, over here, over there, over there. We have not seen any of the yods with a dagish in it, and then suddenly we do see it in one with a dagish. Dagish, at the start, a dagish is what we call dagish lene, and in the middle, it's going to be dagish forte. What does the dagish forte do? It duplicates out the consonant that happens to be there. Consonants will duplicate. Vowels don't duplicate, but consonants will. And that's what we see in the transliteration, a double Y right here. So the first one is Va, okay, Y. So the first Yod ends that first closed syllable, and then the next syllable opens up with the second half of our doubles consonant, and then we have the last syllable here is Lech. Okay. One of the things we have to learn in reading Hebrew is setting out or following the syllable sequence of the word. So Va, Ye, Lech, okay, Va, Ye, Lech. And he walked, he took a hike. I've also put the root on here because, as you know, the root, when you look it up in the dictionary, it's going to be Hey, Lamed, Kaf. This one very often reduces, very often have a pheresis on the first syllable. Pheresis is when you're losing the first word or the first letter. And we've lost the first Hey here. In its place, we have the Yod, and the Yod has a, and I've taken off the matas elecciones icon here, because this one's not working as a matas elecciones, it's working as a consonant. Okay, see the double Y right here. And it does have a formative function. What does it do? It is, and there went, okay? He went. So this is actually indicating the third person masculine prefixed form of a pronoun, okay? It's an added, it indicates who did it, okay? He went, okay? Yelech, okay? So that's the masculine prefixed pronoun indication of who did this action. He went, he took a walk, okay? Lechas, halakas, to walk. And he walked to Moab, or he walked away from Bethlehem, okay? V'yelech ish mi Bethlehem Yehuda lagur bishte Moab hu v'eshto v'shinei banav. He and his two sons took a hike. Next one here is ish, okay? Somewhat unusual. It doesn't have a direct article on it, so it just means a man, one man, a certain man, okay? Ish. Incidentally, in English, we hear the word each, and somewhat very similar to what we have here, okay? Ish, each man, or this one, okay? Ish, mebet lechem. So it's a hirik yod, that makes it a matas elecciones. I don't have any formative icon on here. Why? Because we're dealing exactly with a root. Okay, so the root is root, and the hirik yod in the middle of this thing happens to be part of something that's already defined. It's just standing there. It's just giving us the when you look this one up in the dictionary, that's what you're going to see. Okay, ish, a man. Ish mebet lechem, Yehuda. Lagur beshte Moab hu v'eshto v'shnei banav. So he's leaving Bethlehem, Bethlehem, house of bread, house of food, and we have a mem with the hirik. There's no yod on this one, so it's just simply the Masoretic indication of me, of the I here, me, beit, and then here this one does have a acidic yod, okay? Beit lechem. And there's a dagish in the bet. What it does, it doubles up this consonant, and then the last syllable here of this particular word, of this part of the word, is then a closed syllable with acidic yod in the middle of it here. And we have a little point on top here telling me this is then a matas elecciones, mother of the reading here. There is, I should have left that icon off because really this one's already part of a root here, okay, mebet. Yehuda, and this is Judah, okay? Judah, Yehuda. It has the full surik in the middle of it. Sometimes it's just without the surik, but this one does have, of course, a surik here. And it should be, if you're going to pronounce the whole thing out, it's Yehuda. All of these have a little tense on them because they happen to be matas elecciones in Vav and matas elecciones in Hey. Okay, I have it on here for the yod because the yod starts it off. And in this case, you got a Y, and so this yod is working as a consonant. Okay, so Yehuda, okay, Yehuda. So this is a consonant. This is not a matas elecciones. This is a consonant now with the yod. Okay, Yehuda. Bishde, and this is in the fields of, okay, fields of Moab right here, and this particular sequence here, acidic yod, is matas elecciones. Have a little tent on the top to tell me that. And then it also has a formative function in being the construct plural of this particular root. The shtei, okay, when you look it up in the dictionary, this one's going to be shin dalet hey, okay, field, shadeh, and what we have in this particular agglutination, or this particular formation. You can use the word agglutination or formation. I like the word formation better because it's kind of like things are pulling together in a format, okay? If you use the word agglutination, it just seems to kind of all come gluing itself together. So to me, the word formative is a little bit more descriptive of what's happening. So bishte, so what's formatting here is the preposition in is formatted to the front of the root. The shade has lost its hey through apokpe, and in its place we have acidic yod to show the plural, construct plural at the end of this thing. So when you see a construct plural, it's tied to the next word, okay? Fields of Moab, okay? So he left Bethlehem, Yehuda, Lagur, in order to dwell temporarily. Gur is to be a visitor. Bishte in the fields of Moab. Hu, him, Bishto, and his wife Beshane Banav, and his 2 sons. We're up to a number here, Shnei, okay, and it's a conjunction on the front of a number, and the 2 sons, okay. So here we are, second to last word of the sequence now. Here we're up to this word here, 2. Lagur beshte moav hu veishto veshnei abanav. Ish has a hirik, has no yod in it, so I didn't include it in the study, but this one does have a yod at the end. And what we have is it was the same thing as we're dealing with over here in bishte, a construct plural ending, and it is a number, but it has a construct plural ending to it. So, and his 2 sons, okay, it is a number, okay, U, Shnei, Banav, okay, Sedik, Yod over here. Starts out with a Surik on the front, which happens to be Matas Lecciones in Vav, and this one is a Sedik Yod, which happens to be Matas Lecciones in Yod. Sound is still E, Ushne, and his 2, Banav, his 2 sons. Banav, okay, I have Banav on here because it is a Matas Lecciones, like this Kametz Nun, or Kametz Vav, Kametz Yod, right? Kametz Yod, okay, Kametz Yod here, and Kametz Yod Vav, and so this is a Matas Lecciones with these 2. This is not the most usual is the Hidik Yod. The next most usual is a Sedik Yod. To have a Kametz Yod is stretching it. Okay, I had to look at it 2 or 3 times to make sure I was, what I was looking at. But yeah, yes, when it has to happen, it has to happen. You see the Yod in here, and you go, why is that thing there? Can it function as a consonant? Can't really function as a consonant. It is functioning as a vowel. Okay, so Banav. Okay, but it is a Kametz Yod. Okay, so Banav, and his sons of him. Now you're going to get really easy. It's much easier to notice that the holum here is the suffixed personal pronoun in genitive function, and as a possessive function here, his wife, and then this is his sons. If I was doing the pronouncing, I would love to have this one as a holum, but no, it doesn't have a holum. It's going to be simply closing off as a vav, as a consonant here. So Banav and his sons. Okay, so with a Kametz Yod. Okay, take a good look at it. You don't see a lot of these, so when you do see them, it's a little bit unusual. Now, the name of the man was Elimelech, and the name of his wife Naomi. The names of his 2 sons were Mahlon and Chilion. They were Ephrathites from Bethlehem and Judah. They went into the country of Moab and remained there. I'm not going to be separating out the words from here on to the next 2 or 3 verses, so we'll just stick with it as we read through it. Hashem and his name, the name Haish. We've seen this one already. We've seen this one without the article in front. We now have the article, okay? Haish. hasn't changed out this next syllable, but so ish. Hirik yod. Again, matas lecciones up here. I'll be putting matas lecciones and formative on all of these because we got, when you go through whole verse, you're going to have both of them. So, Vaish, and then here, Elimelech, okay, the next, the hirik yod is in the middle of this particular word, okay. My God is king, okay. Elimelech, that's the name of the man who went walking over to Moab. Elimelech Shem, Ishto, hirik there, but not hirik yod. And no yods in the middle here. Naomi, we do have a yod here at the end, and this one's a hirik yod, and so it's just Naomi. Okay, that's this last Naomi here. Beshem, Shanae, and we've seen this one before already. Sedek yod, Banav, we've seen this one before as well. Kametz yod, okay, Kametz yod right here. So there's this one's a matas lecciones. That one's also a matas lecciones. Ma'alon, Vakilyon. Now we have a Sedek yod. Sedek yod does not form a matas lecciones. You can have other things doing it, but this one here, when you see this yod right here, it's actually introducing the last syllable of this particular word here, Kilyon. Okay, Kilyon. So the yod right here is very much a consonant, and it's not running itself as a matas lecciones at that point. Kilyon. Ephratim, hirik yod, right here in the middle at the end here. And we've seen other plurals like this already. So this one's a hirik yod. Okay, so it's a matas lecciones, but also helps the last syllable function as a. Oh, we've seen it as shofatim. Okay, so this is Ephratim. Okay, so yeah, masculine plural. The hirik yod is involved in making that. Bebet Lechem, okay, here's Sedek yod again. I think we've seen this one already, so we won't talk too much about it. Lechem Yehuda, okay, this first yod here is still used as a consonant. Va Yabo, and again we see a dagesh in the yod, which should be warning us pretty quickly. It's functioning a whole lot more like a consonant because it's doubling up, okay, so Va Yabo. And so it's dagesh forte, and so you go wa, ya, bo, okay, and it doesn't it's not there to tell us anything. Vocalic value is just simply there to work as a yod. So wa, ya, bo, yabu, plural ending here with a surik, and they came shdei, okay, and again the sedek yod, moav. Yehu, okay. Again, the same situation with a dagesh, okay, telling us it's a big hint that this one's working as a consonant. Yehu, okay. Remember I said the we've seen it here, okay. Sedek yod doesn't give us a matas lecciones. So we have to take this one as a consonant, okay? Va, yich, you, okay? And it helps us make this this third syllable right here, make it an open syllable of you, okay? Va, yich, you, okay? This is the plural form of the first verb we saw in the sequence, va, yehi. This one makes it plural. This is the plural of va, yehi, okay? So this is va, you. In Yehi, the second yod was matas lecciones, but here it's not. This one's simply starting out this syllable here, you, okay? Va, Yehu, Sham, and they were there. Yeah, I have a Kametz Hatuv here. That's the first one here, and I just sort of popped it in here because I saw it, and it's one of the things a little bit hard to grasp, but I'm going to do a complete program on Kametz Hatuv. It's closed syllable, and then it's going to be pronounced O. So this is what we have here, Yamot. Yamot, okay, again, same thing, dagesh forte, and so this yod is working as a consonant in both forms. It's not a matas lecciones here. Elimelech, this one is a matas lecciones, okay. Ish, again, matas lecciones, part of a root, and Nomi, and here it is, matas lecciones. We've got a whole set of matas lecciones here right in a row. Nomi, Beteshaer, he. This one is matas lecciones, hirik yod, very much as we see here. Well accepted, well, well defined, well recognized hirik yod. Now there's a curveball coming with this particular pronoun because the first 5 books of the Hebrew Scriptures, the original Torah, this personal pronoun appears with a vav in the middle of it, okay? But the Mashra always points it, for when it's feminine, it points at hirik vav. When it's masculine, it's going to point at surik. But here it's hirik yod, okay? So she, okay? So he is she. And Jewish comedians love working with who, he, she, and so forth, because it starts with their personal pronoun, the way they're pronounced in Hebrew. So he, which is actually she, okay? He, which is actually she, and here it is, hirik yod. Now, like I said, in the first 5 books of the Bible, you're going to have hirik vav, and you're going to pronounce it as a hirik yod. Okay, pronounce it as hirik yod. It's one of those automatic kires. The Mashra does not tell you every time that you have to do that, but you just take a look at the hirik, and you're going to pronounce it as he, even though you have a vav in the middle of those pronouns in the first 5 books of the Bible, like that. Okay, he, u, Shnei, and here's Tzedek Yod, and here it's Tzedek Yod again. Okay, and that's I like seeing this one because we've seen Banav when this last suffix pronoun is a vav, it's a masculine pronoun, then you're going to bump this one down to a Kametz Yod, which to my hearing is a little bit hard, but this one is the way it really should be. Okay. Sometimes you say, this is how it should be done, even though I have nothing really to say as to how it should be done. This is how it is done, okay? Shnei benecha, okay? And sons of her, okay? So, this is Segol. Oh, we haven't seen Segol Yod up to now. So they did leave it down as a Segol Yod, which this is somewhat unusual because we're looking at a Siluk, and Siluks generally bump up the strength of the vowel, but it kept it as a segol. Okay, be, ba, ne, ha, segol yod. Okay? I should have put that in here. Segol yod. Segol also then in former matas lecciones. Just an aside there. Now these took Moabite wives. The name of the one was Orpha, and the name of the other was Ruth, and they lived there for about 10 years. Orpha, by the way, happens to also be a Kametz HaTuv. We'll see it here we are, okay? Orpha. And it's a good reminder that ayin can form a closed syllable. It is a closed syllable. And closed syllable, no accent, it's going to be a Kametz HaTuv. So this Kametz is going to be pronounced O, that one's going to be pronounced A, okay? Orpha. So again, Yeshu, the Yod here is very much just a consonant. It's duplicated, reducted through the Kametz forte, and so Yeshu, and they lift it up, ahem, to them. Nashim, okay, Nashim has a hirik Yod in the middle of it, very nice normal hirik Yod, normal matas lecciones here. Moabiyot, okay. And it gets a little complex here because we do have, just remember, we have a dagesh in the middle of the yod here. And so that's going to, the inclination at that point certainly is keeping this thing as a consonant. It does have a hirik sound to it though, okay? Mobiyot, okay? But we do want to hear the yot at the end. So using this thing, once you've used a consonant as a consonant, it's not available very much for your vowel anymore. The vowel here is in the or the pronunciation is going to be on the basis of this hirik, okay? Mo, viot. Okay? And we're going to be using the yod here to make this last syllable here, yot. It's a feminine plural of Moabites. So when you see the S, Moabite wives, S at the end, it's from this plural. Shem, name, Hat, Orpah, comes a tuv here to start. Veshem, Shani, Shanit. Okay, here's a nice hirik yod. This one is most certainly Matas Lecciones. And it helps us second one. So this is see ordinal. It's in ordinate. So this one follows then, okay? Veshinit. And the second one, the other one. Second one, Shanit. The second one, Ruth. She's playing second fiddle at the start of the story, but of course, in the rest of the story, once Orpah hits back to Moab, Ruth becomes center of the story. At the start of the story, they kind of put her off to one side. You're the second one, okay? Shanit, Ruth. Yeshbu, and they stayed there. This again, the yod's just going to be functioning here as a consonant. Just think only consonant at this point. In fact, there's nothing. Yeah. Yeshbu, and they stayed there. Sham. Kasher, Shanim. Okay, and then hirik yod right here does have a nice Matas Lecciones, and it helps us give us the masculine plural. We've seen this one previously in Shofatim and Ephratim, and here we see Shanim, okay, years. So they were there about, Ka is about, Asher is 10, Shanim about 10 years. So Shanim. Hirik Yod, a nice Matas Lecciones sending up the story right there. So it takes a little effort, a little work to look at it. In the real world, you're going to be listening to on the BART, the Abraham, who's doing the pronunciation on the BART app program, is, I would say, the gold standard of Hebrew pronunciation. Okay, when you're listening to him, things are just right spot on. Okay, I very few times I would say, oh, why'd you do that? But it's right spot on. And so as you listen to it and as you follow on through, you're going to catch the hirik yods. You're going to catch the e sounds through here, and he's got the vowels right on. He's got the accents right on, and he does a great job. So I know what you're hearing from me. It's because of years and years of listening to Abraham. So. Abraham, the man who did the taping way back, about 40, 50 years ago already. But yeah, it's a great resource for being able to pronounce well the Hebrew language. So may God bless, may God strengthen you in this day.